Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel on YouTube. So today I was supposed to actually go out to lunch, and the person that I was supposed to go out to lunch with had to cancel at the last minute. He got called into work. So here's what I do while I'm on um, my comeback in the nutrition and getting my body back to where it had been. I plan everything out. So right now on my program, I have one meal and the rest is shakes, and all my supplements and all that. So this was planned to be my only meal of the day. So I had my meal. I came back because I wound up drinking a margarita that dehydrates you. It's winter time, so right now I'm lucky it's like 40 degrees out, 41, whatever. It's not 30. Um, so my Isagenix has a Hydrate, which again a lot of people think about. They only take their supplements when they're going to the gym, where in essence is the Hydrate is perfect for wintertime, especially on the East Coast when you're battling things in the 20s and 30-degree weather and even 40, and especially if you're drinking alcohol. So it kind of made me think to have to remind you guys that the holidays are coming up. You're going to be drinking a lot at holiday parties and whatnot, that your body needs to stay hydrated. So make sure you get your water in. But again, my Isagenix program that I'm on, I have in this 16-ounce bottle of water, I add 2 scoops of grape flavored Hydrate to help me replenish and keep my body hydrated so I don't get the muscle cramps. You guys know that I've been dealing with a hip issue for like 3 years now, and I'm doing better. My doctor released me to come back to the gym on the pretense that I don't overdo it. So, making sure that I'm actually eating a banana every day for the calcium and potassium. As you know, calcium's good for the body, for the bones, but potassium's good to keep you from having muscle cramps. Part of the reason why you get muscle cramps is two things: one, lack of potassium; two, lack of water. So, making sure that now that I'm back in the gym, but I'm not able to still do the cardio that I was able to do before, not until the doctor says so anyway. I've made great strides. The hip is doing good. The knots in the side of my leg is getting better. So he's agreed with me as well. This probably started from my low back, from all the years of being on the gym floor training clients, the repetition. Moving to DC, I was on Metro for so long, carrying a backpack. The evil ex that I used to live with wasn't very helpful, so I used to do a lot of grocery shopping alone, carrying groceries up flights of stairs alone. Um, I'm left handed, so carrying a lot of stuff on my right side. He switched me up, so I'm actually even doesn't even want my purse on my right side, And the funny part is, I've done this personal training clients all the time of saying you need to, if you have an imbalance, you need to switch to the other side. Now finding myself needing to take my own advice is kind of funny, but needless to say, carrying a purse on my left side and trying to open up the door with the left side is weird, but um, it's been uh, humbling to say the least. Like I said, sometimes coaches need to learn how to coach themselves. So um, the hip flexors are okay. I'm now doing 20 minutes on a bike. He doesn't want anything longer because, again, we're not trying to shorten up my hip flexors now that they're starting to open up. And yet, he said, I want you walking on the treadmill, even if it's only 5 minutes, until, you can do. Now, my issue is that I've got that all the muscles that are accommodating the muscles that aren't firing, my shin and my knee is tight and hurt because of the hip is not still fully working the way it's supposed to do. And you see the lazies, by the way. Yeah. But so, needless to say, what I'm trying to do, I thought about subconsciously or consciously making sure that I flex my foot a little bit more, moving to get the calf to activate. But he told me no, just try to walk natural as possible and don't overdo anything so that we can make the hip fire the way it's supposed to do and still not overdo the shin and the calf muscles. So, needless to say, it's a work in progress, but luckily I've been a post rehab specialist since 1998 actually. So I know what I'm doing, but it's a matter of when it's yourself, it's a hard to swallow that pill and do what you tell your clients to do, which is, a little at a time. The end result is I know where I want to be this time next year, which is, may or may not be in a master's class on a stage. I'm hoping so, but I feel the same as a lot of people are thinking about. You see Ryan Shazier, and I can't even say that the most influential and inspiring athlete I have ever seen I'm 55. For a man that could have been paralyzed, who's been fortunate enough to be walking, is now deadlifting. Less than a year later after having a traumatic back injury. I have numerous friends that have had hip surgeries and back surgeries who can't even lift anymore. I'm looking at, again, I watched Ronnie Coleman's Netflix, and as aspiring as it is, it also reminds me of myself of saying, if I could take back 1,100-pound leg presses, lifting heavy. I have a friend of mine, I read his Instagram post this morning. He has a weight-related workout hernia, which those are highly common, and still says, my doctor has no idea that I plan on going back and lifting heavy. This is my case in point to all you trainers out there who are in your 20s and your 30s. All of us old people, as you want to refer to us, and I'm not that old, we've been there, done that, and we're telling you, you don't have to lift heavy to have a great body. Yes, you have to overload the body. Yes, you have to overload the body. I'm going to say this again. I'm going to say it close. Read my lips. Yes, you want big muscles. You need to overload the body. But it doesn't mean that if you're a 180-pound natural gentleman before you lift, or a 160-pound gentleman before you lift, or a 120-pound female before you lift, that you need to double your weight load to get big. German precision training was one of the most effective training methods I ever used when I was bodybuilding before and when I was competing. A friend of mine, Kurt, had turned me on to that back in probably early 2000, 1999 or early 2000, German precision training. Look it up. Read it. It helped create amazing Olympic athletes. And the bodybuilding industry decided that, hey, it works. And it does. Trust me. If you see any of my old pictures of way back when I was 30, 39, 40, I had an amazing 135-pound body going into a competition. And that was doing a lot of drop sets, pyramids, and German precision training. 10 sets of 10 reps, maxed out at 10th rep. You couldn't do an 11th rep. That's how you decide. If you're smart, you know how to figure out your 1 rep max, and then that's how you equate and work out what your 10 rep maximum load is. That it says that when you finished 10 sets on that body part, Now, it doesn't have to be the same exercise. So, if you want to do an incline press and a flat bench fly, or a flat bench press and an incline press, but it means that that chest is done 10 exercises, 10 set, or I should say, let me say this again. One body part, 10 sets, maxed out. 10 times 10 per body part. That means that if you walked away and you still feel like you could have got one more set, then you need to up your weight for the next set, or the next time you do that body part. That is how you overload and maximize a muscle without overloading weight wise on a bone structure. People forget about the bones and the nerves that are underneath all that muscle. So again, back in the day when I did 1,100-pound leg press, and I actually did more than that. Like I said, I say this all the time. I had a 180-pound man sitting on top of the leg press too. So close to 1,300-pound leg press, but I'm 5'4". I didn't have to take that weight load very far either. Versus 6-foot guy, 6'9" guy. You get it? So, that's a point of saying when I see Instagram and you're a personal trainer, please be careful what you show, and please be careful what you tell your fans are watching, your clients are watching. And I can say, as a friend of mine, Feeble Ilg, look him up, Steve Ilg, the most amazing guy I have ever been mentored by, as I came into the fitness industry. And he refers to himself as humble Ilg or feeble Ilg, because we are just human and we all make mistakes, and we all need to as a very close friend of mine said to me 2 nights ago, that he said, isn't one of the 7 deadly sins pride? And I go back to Mark Creer, one of my Olympic hurdler friends that I used to run track with. Yes, pride. Pride is actually even in the Bible about being ego, and that ego is one of the most harmful things that humans have encountered, and we hold on to. I am humble enough to say that in 3 years of working through a hip flexor issue, and I swear, as we're preparing for AVN next month, I'm thinking back that last January, coming back from AVN, I really thought I was headed to a wheelchair, that my mobility was that bad. And I said it before and I'll say it again. What was crazy was I can wrestle, I can fuck, I just can't walk. So having found the right method of and again, a friend of mine who's an NFL head trainer, who has said to me, you had the dry needling done on the shoulder, maybe you need to dry needle the hip after all. Because originally we said don't do it, because if you don't have the right person dry needle you could be paralyzed. That I knew. And then he reaffirmed what I already knew in my head. But I'm still trying to do, and I try to do as much homeopathic way in the process versus medications, which again, medications are a band-aid solution. It doesn't solve the problem. Or surgeries, or people had told me, maybe you should do, a friend of mine's a podiatrist. He said, well, maybe you might have to do Botox in the hip. I didn't want to do Botox. It's a foreign substance to the body again. I want to do as much natural stuff as possible. Hence again why I said I'm using Isagenix. It has minimal chemicals. I'm staying as chemical free as possible. My son, I love my son. I mentored him obviously from the day that I got pregnant with him, and ate well with him, and grew a 9 pound baby in my body. Um, but he is an amazing creature. Um, but he and his wife and my granddaughter had acid reflux. They went on a paleo diet. They stay as natural as possible, and they no longer have to take any medications for acid reflux. It's in our food. It's in our nutrition. It's in the way that you want to move your body every day, no matter what. Even if it's just 10 minutes a day, it's better than nothing a day. And so, again, I ask you all the time, take care of your body. It's the only vehicle you will ever get. Um, we can substitute it. I have breast implants. Women get boob implants, butt implants, face implants, whatever. And we're now doing, live kidney donations and all that. And that's great. But take care of the only vehicle that you'll ever have until your heart quits pounding. Um, and this has been a humbling experience for myself, for sure, of knowing that, I've been an athlete all my life. I've played baseball since I was 3 years old. The last thing I want to do um, is create an old body before its time. So, with that said, I want you guys all to put your New Year's resolutions and your goals for 2019. Add taking care of your temple, and mind, body, and soul. Be better humans, so that we can leave this planet um, in a better position. Um, Treat your body as good as you want somebody else to treat it. Um, with that said, namaste.